Hi, in this video I'm going to read to you the financial horror story entitled Silence of the Scams. It's inspired by Silence of the Lambs and the Giving Pledge foundation set up by Bill Gates. It's covered on page 155 of Swiss Frankenstein Financial Horror Stories. Silence of the Scams. Have a look at this, Rick. Bad press. You want me to do something about it? Rick opened the video that was attached to the WhatsApp message of Roger Abel just as he was about to leave the offices of the Better Planet Foundation he had set up. Roger was one of the founding partners of the law firm he always used for media-related matters, Bill and Abel. He rarely misses an opportunity to defend my interest. Not always necessary, but if it is, his fees are usually worth it. The video was a documentary about the Better Planet Foundation of some foreign channel. Clearly a sensationalist one, judging the dramatic voice and the title, Better Planet for Whom. It began with the news that the 250th billionaire had just committed to invest most of his wealth in the Better Planet Foundation. Rick sat down as he noticed the documentary focused on the dark side of the foundation. This is not always about the amazing work the foundation has done to improve lives in poor areas around the world, fostering education, providing healthcare, and doing much more. The docu zoned in on the tech entrepreneurs, oligarchs, movie stars, and other rich and often famous people that had signed up to the commitment to donate their wealth. A parade of glitter and glamour was shown. Are these private jets, expensive cars, and parties shown actually theirs, or just from the internet? The commentator soon asked the rhetoric question if they were not just committing to the philanthropist image of being a do-gooder. Jealousy, nothing special. Roger may just be keen to bill some hours. The focus turned to the tax benefits of charitable investments. Not great publicity, but better not respond to. It will blow over. Tax is a touchy topic, as his tax counsel always said. It won't attract much attention. But hang on, what is this? The docu suggested the billionaires were not actually investing much in the foundation. Hollow commitments that were not realized. They were compared to countries committing to victims of disasters but never paid eventually. What are they concluding? He watched on. Thank God. The end of the docu. Rick typed a message back to Roger. No need, Roger. Legal attention may just draw more attention. Rick was just walking out of the office of his foundation when his phone rang. The security officer at the reception watched him as he stopped to take the call, dressed casually in his usual grey trousers and a wool jumper. Rick's 30-year-old glasses were the same ones he had worn ever since he founded a software company at university some 30 years earlier. The enormous growth it had gone through made him one of the wealthiest persons on the planet, but they had not affected his sober taste in clothes and worldly goods. He still drove a relatively inconspicuous Lincoln town car. He knew people considered him a nerd, and he didn't care. In fact, it had probably helped his perception of being trustworthy, attracting investments in his ESG and charitable purposes. He had noticed how his humble appearance had played a role to build his new venture of becoming the leading global do-gooder, ensuring the ultra-wealthy of the planet had committed most of their wealth to his foundation. Rick saw the call was from Zanat, founder and CEO of the world's largest uranium producer. He was to become his 250th billionaire to commit his wealth. Unlike the docu suggested, he was not yet committed, but Zanat had already broken the news that he was, with much fanfare. One of the more annoying donors, although he doesn't deserve that title yet. In one of the first conversations they had, Zanat indicated in no uncertain terms that he expected to benefit from the publicity and other membership benefits, as he called it, the ultimate do-good club would bring him. An annoying, selfish guy who joins for all the wrong reasons, but you can't be too picky if you want to help the planet. He had found out over time that many of the billionaires that had pledged their wealth to his foundation were mostly interested in being seen to sponsor worthy causes instead of actually sponsoring them and paying up. being on photos when opening water treatment facilities in countries without clean water, and opening schools instead of deserving to be on any of those photos after having contributed. It had annoyed him beyond belief, but he could not always do much against their often lame excuses to pay later, when some project or sale is realized, or dividends are paid out, that invariably were not when he asked. From conversations with some of the billionaires, he had come to realize that his foundation was a good and politically correct vehicle to obtain lucrative contracts or even low-cost labor. As much as he did not like that initially, he had started using these arguments casually in conversations with prospective billionaires to pull them in. It isn't much different from being a pop star, he had told himself time and time again, after another photo shoot in front of a new school in a poor country next to a billionaire that had not paid anything yet. You hate the press from taking part of your private life, but you need them at the same time for business and marketing. They usually paid something later, but far from what the publicity and the expectations suggested. The docu was frustratingly correct, actually, also about tax treatment of their capital contributions, an issue that was becoming very sensitive in the media. Rick had come to realize he had to play down that game as well by facilitating tax optimization of charitable contributions to be successful as a do-gooder and help the world. Often before the contribution was actually made, if made at all. You can't do all good all the time. There's a price to be paid, compromise to be made. You have to talk their talk, walk their walk. It happens in every business. He had already had this share of being sucked into dirtier side of charity. Hello Zanat, how are you doing? Rick stayed inside the reception area to make the call, walking back and forth for a few minutes whilst talking with Zanat. His tone was unusually buoyant, service-minded. Haha, yes, our investments are ESG compliant. The E for elimination of your competitors, the S for slavery of your workforce, and the G for geopolitical assistance to make your business flourish. Your business will be well spent, don't worry. He listened to Zanat for a moment. And yes, haha, tax-free of course. We are a charity after all. Conversation went on for a few more minutes before he hung up and walked out to his Lincoln town car. The security guard wished him a good evening, but Rick did not hear it. What a scumbag. I should probably set tougher entry conditions for new joiners. A very considerable down payment perhaps. It may keep those out scumbags. They should put their money where their mouths are. 2 days later. Rick, have you seen the Wall Street Journal? It was Roger. No, I haven't. What's the issue? This is the worst news you can imagine. I'm not joking. A few alleged quotes of yours have been published from recordings anonymously delivered to the Wall Street Journal. Quotes? Recordings? Yes, it isn't pretty, Rick. You're quoted as referring to alternative definitions of ESG, elimination, slavery, and geopolitics. Oh my God. Rick started to get a panic attack. Did the security guard record his call with Zanat? Or Zanat? But he wouldn't. Why would he? This is terrible. He didn't even mean it. I was just joking. What are they writing? They suspect fraud. You may see the police any moment, Rick. This is very serious. I guess you will see lawsuits, investors pulling out, and... I can't believe this. I was joking about the abbreviation of ESG with an incoming participant, Roger. This has been taken completely out of context. I have to fix this misunderstanding. I'll contact our communications expert. And please get me a criminal defense attorney, Roger. It was the end of the foundation. The media around the world was all over the news that the biggest charity was a disguised billionaire scam dressed as a charity. One by one, the billionaires pulled out, showing public disappointment, lack of awareness about the supposed other purposes served by the foundation. None of them were admitting to any such purposes, emphasizing the charitable nature of their commitments. They all wanted their donation back, even the funds that had already been spent on charity. Countless charitable purposes would no longer receive the funds that were sitting on their foundation's account. They were paid back to billionaires, not to the poor. Rick ended bankrupt, all because of an unfortunate comment to attract more funds. It was horrible, horrendous, horrific.